Hello, everyone. So, this is another session where we would like to cover video conferencing and bandwidth estimation. So, bandwidth, right? Bandwidth, throughput, latency. These are very common terms when we talk about system design, designing a system. I'll quickly try to, summarize this, what we are going to cover in this. We'll be covering here bandwidth estimation for a video conferencing system design problem. A bandwidth is in system design, it refers to the maximum amount of data that can be transmitted over a network in a given period of time. So, um, I would say you can refer my system design cheat sheet. There, I have described bandwidth in a very, very simple way. But again, I would like to high level give an idea like what bandwidth is. Bandwidth is mostly or most of the time it is measured in bits per second. Guys, yes, that is right. So when you have your Wi-Fi, we talk about bandwidth. How fast is your Wi-Fi? How we say like whenever we talk about the um, I would say the speed of your internet connection, this is where we're talking about the capacity, like the bandwidth, and it is always in bits per second, right? The basic unit always measured in. So, for example, gigabits per second, megabits per second. So that's how the bandwidth comes in picture. So it represents the network capacity and is crucial for ensuring the performance of an IoT system. So, for example, any IoT system, if the bandwidth is weak or not good, it's going to compromise. So, how to estimate bandwidth in a system design? We need to understand, identify the data resources. For example, a list of all devices that we send or receive data, all devices. Examples, sensors, cameras, actuators. Then we have to determine data characteristics. For example, data size, payload, how much data a device sends per message. Temperature sensor, for example, 50 bytes. Then we have to understand also the frequency of transmission, meaning how often the device sends data, every second, every minute, or what. Protocols overhead. We have to also understand, like, do we have any extra overhead from the communication protocol, HTTP, MQTT, or let's say TCP, TPIP? And then after all these calculations, we will come to a formula which is bandwidth per second is like data size multiplied by frequency in hertz. All right. So, and then total bandwidth is equal to the summation of all the bandwidth, like each devices. Yeah. So I can explain you in a very simplistic way. For example, let's say we have IoT system which has 10 sensors, right? And data size is 100 bytes, um, which is 800 bits per message. Transmission frequency, let's say one message per second. Protocol, let's say 20% overhead. So we will say 960 bits per message. And then we can calculate here total bandwidth for one device and then divide for 10 devices. For one device, we can say, let's say if protocol overhead is 960 bits, so 960 bits per message per times one message per second. So it will be around 960 bits per second per device, right? And if it is 10 device, it multiplied by 960 times 10. So it will be 960, 9600 BPS. Okay, so I'm not going much deeper into this bandwidth and system design concepts. Rather, let's focus on an interview question, which is um, mostly inclined towards the data estimations and bandwidth estimation for any general question, system design or problem, system design problem where we have video conferencing. Estimate the bandwidth required for a video conferencing app with 1,000 concurrent users, each streaming 720p video to Mbps. All right. So now over here, you see, we need to understand first clarify requirements, the number of concurrent users. So we have 1,000 concurrent users. Video bitrate, it is 2 megabits per second, right? Small b always represent bits and capital B it's like bytes. So total bandwidth of the system is 1,000 users and every user is playing around 2 Mbps bit video bitrate. So 2,000 Mbps. which is 2 Gbps speed. All right. So this is very simple way. If we have to find out the bandwidth, we understand first how many users, and then we also have to understand video bitrate per user. So 2 Gbps is required for 1000 users streaming at 720. So this is something which you can understand. For example, let's say if somebody asking you, hey, we have 1000 users and they need to stream, let's say, a movie at 720p. Okay. If a system is like that, how much data speed you need? Well, let's say a Wi-Fi speed so that everyone can stream without any problem 720p, and there are 1000 concurrent users. So the speed is 2 Gbps, right? And how did we calculate it? We calculated just by multiplying the number of concurrent users and then video bitrate, which is 2 Mbps. So thank you very much, and I see you in the video.